going to start by saying that I only found out I was doing this talk a few days ago. So I started to think about what I was going to talk about. So I started to make notes, and then I'd tear it up and throw it away. Then I'd make some more notes, and I'd tear it up, and I'd throw it away. Then I'd type and press delete. And I was like, I just wanted to give up. And I was thinking, oh my God, I'm meant to be doing a talk on perseverance, and here I am wanting to give up. And it got me to thinking, what was going on? I need to check in with myself. What was making me feel like I wanted to give up? And of course, it's our good friend, fear. Fear of failure. Fear of standing up here and making an idiot out of myself. Fear I might blank. Fear I might swear. And I got to thinking, how many times in my life I let that fear stop me from going from my dreams, stop me from showing up in the world like I really wanted to show up and I was meant to show up, and probably stopped you guys from showing up in the world. And I started to think about, when did this fear start? And I took myself back to when I was about 10 years old, and I had moved from a state school to a private girls' school, which was very, very different. And I was sat in this class, and my teacher, Mrs. Drakeford, she asked a question, and I put my hand up, and I can't remember exactly what happened, but she made a comment around the fact that, I don't know what kind of school you've come from, but things are different here. And then proceeded to call me a twit, which is a pretty big insult for a 10-year-old. And I remember at that point, I just wanted the world to open and take me away, and I felt shame and embarrassment, and in that moment, I felt like a failure. And in that moment, I created a belief system that I was never going to be good enough, that I wasn't good enough than all the girls in my class, I'd never be clever enough, I was different. And that belief system made me really scared and set the tone for most of my teenage years and most of my 20s. I would try to get on the sports teams and never got on, and I would try to get the main part in the play and never get the part. I would try to be part of the cool girls, didn't make that one either. I tried to get the best grades in the class, so I'd get some sort of approval. I mean, I had to be good at something. There must be something that I was really good at. And I wasn't. So I became a chronic giver-upper. I mean, I didn't want to feel that feeling of, I failed again. So why bother? Why try? Why bother? It was better just to accept that I was going to have a mediocre life. That was so much easier than keep on trying and just keep on failing. And I used to think, oh my God, what am I going to do with my life? Like, I'm not very good at anything, and yet I've been told that to be a success, I need to be something. I need to be a doctor or a lawyer or a dentist. I mean, everyone in my class was going to Oxford and Cambridge, and bloody hell, like, I wouldn't get into any of those. So what was I going to do? Because, I mean, you know, success is having a title. It's earning £50,000 a year and having a car and a house and probably not affording anything else, but as long as you look good, that's okay, right? And I still didn't know how I was going to even make that happen. And that didn't set a good tone for a girl going into her, you know, early 20s thinking, I don't know what I'm meant to do. I don't know what I'm really, really good at. I wasn't born with any particular amazing talent or ability or skill. So I carried on with life, and then something changed. On September the 8th, 2012, I became a mother, and I gave birth to my eldest daughter, who absolutely changed my life. Because when I gave birth that day, I gave birth to something that Angela Duckworth, the pioneering psychologist, calls grit. Passion plus perseverance for long-term goals. I didn't have that before that day. And that day, something in me changed. And I decided I wanted something big for my daughter. I wanted to be something bigger for my daughter. So when I was on my maternity leave, I was like, I don't want to go back to my job. Like, I didn't like it. My manager was horrible. So I was like, right, okay, I need to figure out a way to make some money. So I was on Google, like, try and find jobs, like, make money online or, you know, work from home jobs. And I turned into a bit of a Del boy. I was like, tried this, tried that, tried this, tried that. didn't quite make anything happen because I still had that old belief system lurking underneath me that I'm a chronic giver-upper. Like, why bother? I'm not going to make it, so why bother? So when my daughter was 14 months pregnant, no, she wasn't pregnant. That would be awkward. When she was 14 months old, I had to take my sorry booty back to my job that I hated. And I dropped her off at nursery. She cried. And I got in my car, and I cried my eyes out. And I remember sat there thinking, if there's anybody out there, please, this isn't what I wanted to do. Please, give me something so I can be a mother, so I can be with my daughter. I wanted to be successful, but I just didn't know how. Something happened that day. The universes aligned, something happened. 2 weeks later, a book fell in my hands. Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And oh my God, I was sat in Costa Coffee like, what? My thoughts can make me rich? Like, they didn't teach me this at school. So I was like, page to page, like, what? My thoughts become things. I can become wealthy if I'm happy, and oh my God. And anyway, so this became like my obsession, understanding the law of attraction, and I thought I could manifest £100,000 in a couple of weeks. Didn't happen, by the way. It does not work like that. But anyway, something was happening, something was changing, and a couple months later, another book landed in my hands. Books are really good, by the way, people. And this book in it talked about coaching. And I remember I was sat by the pool in Bali at my honeymoon, and I was reading this book about a coach, and I was like, it's like my bones set on fire. Something in me, my ing, as Gabby Bernstein likes to call it, was shouting at me, this is it, this is the thing you've got to do. Nobody in England knew what a coach was, by the way, at this point, so I was wanting to do something I didn't even know really existed or how to make a living out of, but I had to follow this inner feeling. So off I went to university to study to become a coach. And the tutor said I wasn't going to be very good at it because I couldn't be me if I wanted to be a good coach. And all these fears back from school where I wasn't good enough was coming up again. And I remember I got the worst on my dissertation. I'm thinking, oh my God, Noor, come on. Like, you were led here and they're telling you that in order to be a good coach, you can't really be you. And I was like, this is so frustrating. I tried to be so many different people my whole life to fit in. And all I wanted to be was me. And I wanted to be this coach. So obviously, chronic giver-upper started kicking in. And I thought, oh, I'm not going to qualify anyway for another year, and I might as well do something else. And by this point, I was pregnant with my second daughter. So I had maternity leave looming over me again. I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't want to be broke through another maternity leave. So anyway, this time the universe had my back. And an opportunity came to me to start up an online business. So I decided to do this. I was sat in my PJs at home in my laptop pregnant, like da-da-da-da. I was working 40 hours a week, and at 31 weeks pregnant, I ended up in hospital being told I was going into early labor. There's nothing scarier in the world than hearing baby and intensive care unit in one sentence, okay? And I lay in bed on that night in hospital, and I just prayed, please, if you keep this baby in me, I will slow down. I will do what it takes, but I will slow down. I'll give up the job. Baby stayed in, and I quit my job. No plan B, no maternity leave, just a business model that I had to make work. I mean, so I worked my booty off, and I created a six-figure business on my maternity leave. Wow, finally, I'd created success, and everything was amazing. I was going on holiday, and I had a new car, and yet there was a niggle in my head. I had all the trappings, but something in me, my heart, was saying, Noor, you're meant for something bigger. And at that point, the universe gifted me a spiritual mentor. And by the way, let's get clear. 2 years ago, if you said to me, Noor, would you meditate? I would have gone, cringe, no thank you. I was trying to be normal, people, you know what I mean? I didn't want to be like, huh. So anyways, the spiritual mentor came in my life and absolutely rocked my world. He started to tell me things I'd never heard of, that I could manifest my dreams, that I was extraordinary, that I was born in this world with unique talents and gifts that the world needed me to deliver. That, in fact, you know that feeling of failure that I was so scared of my whole life? I needed to get really good at feeling that. Because he told me if I'm mentality F up every single day and get used to feeling that we all try to avoid, we become bigger, better, stronger versions of ourselves, and we could go for our dreams, even bigger dreams, better dreams, because you won't be so scared of falling on your face. So I truly decided to make this my mission, to focus on myself. He taught me that success was inside me. And if I wanted to be really successful in my life and wanted to manifest the money that I wanted and the business that I wanted and the health that I wanted, I would need to go inward. I would need to focus and make a commitment to my happiness. Because when I make a commitment to my happiness, I will get everything I've ever dreamed of. So I listened to that niggle. I ignored all my fears. I ignored the people telling me that, you know, just because I didn't get a first or even a 2-1, I got a 2-2 in my postgrad. Don't even think it was a 2-2, it was like a merit, whatever. I was like, I know I can help people. I know that this is what I was put on the planet to do. So off I went to start my coaching business on a wing and a prayer, and I put it out there. And now I work with the most incredible women across the world, mothers that have a dream of creating a business and being a mother, who want their cake, that want to eat it, want to be successful and be a mother, and want it all. And for the first time, I'm living my dream, and I feel successful without all the trappings, because I'm growing as a person, I'm leading with love. I've learned to not let my ego convince me that I can't do things anymore, because it is just ego. So, perseverance. It's not giving up when other people tell you that you can't do things. When people tell you that your dreams aren't realistic, which I've got told so many times, by the way, when people tell you that your dreams are too big, when people tell you it's not very stable or secure, you know, doing something that no one knows what it is. You know, we were so behind in coaching in the UK. I had no idea how I was going to make money from it, like literally. And in 7 months, I've almost created a second 6-figure business with 2 little girls, being able to be a full-time mum. And believe you me, people told me before that that was not possible. So I implore you guys to know that all the beliefs that you have been conditioned to think about most of the things that you think, and most of the things that people have told you to think ever since you were this big, I want you to go inwards and ask yourself, what is it I truly want to do? If everyone else just stepped away, what is it that I want to do? How is it that I want to serve the world? Because when you serve, you deserve. And when you lead with love, and you focus on here, sorry Mike, in here, true success will come to you, and I promise you that. So thank you so much for listening to me. And before I finish, just one quote that I've got on my wall in my office: be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. Mwah. Thank you.